Hi, I'm Shane Haymaker, and welcome to Frontline Spiritual Warrior 144. This message is, well, it's just about a little story I wanted to tell you about interaction with God. And this occurred in late 2022, after my awakening, after the humblings I'd received from God yeah, there's plenty of stories on this channel, guys. But at one point, there was a peaceful moment where I was sitting on the couch, kicked my feet up on the little foot stand, and it was very relaxing, very peaceful. And so I thought back of the things. I don't remember why exactly I had. Other than the things I was thinking of was my boxing from my youth, as well as martial arts later on in my life. Tang Sudo, which is a Korean martial art. I've admired it for many reasons, but let me just start. You know, I've had boxing in my youth, like in the sixth grade, and I've had to use it quite a bit. Not trying to brag. I don't run around bragging, guys. The simple fact is I've had some boxing practice. I've had to use it in fights and stuff. And then later on in years, and this was actually after my days in the Army, my years in the Army, United States Army. I met up with an ex-Marine, and that's this man actually, he taught me some martial arts, and I didn't know at the time, other than at the end of this was because I was so eager to learn. But he told me that well, this is, he called it, he said it's Tang Sudo. It's actually the Chuck Norris version of it, the American Tang Sudo. I'm like, oh, okay, well, how cool, and because I admire the great champions of the throughout life, like Mike Tyson, because he's an actual champion who went all the way to the top. He battled and won. I'm just amazed by him and his boxing skills. Iron Mike Tyson. So, sitting there on the couch, I didn't know this, guys. I just thought, this is why I wanted to share this. This is so cool. Because I heard a voice, it was God. It was God. He says, because he knew what I was thinking, because I'm like, geez, in my childhood, I did not get to master all these things. I did not get to be a champion and all this good stuff. And I looked up to, I got many mentors, fatherly figures I've looked up to for their skills, their capabilities. The fact that these men did not give up. They are champions in their own right. And I'm not just talking about people that are fighters and that battled their way to the top, but I'm also talking about very smart men, as well as women, who I look up to for their capabilities, their smarts, their fortitude, their intestinal fortitude, how they've got to the top and truly won. And not in a cheap, evil, wicked manner, but they fought with truth, justice. They did things the right way. In other words, they're true champions, not these not these people that have somehow got there, and you kind of wonder, like, how in the hell? I'm talking about real people now. Real champions. And this is how I view Mike Tyson, for starters here. Iron Mike Tyson. Admiration. Because of all he's done. He's battled all the way to the top in spite of everything else going wrong in his life. I'm amazed by the man. He's a champion in my eyes. Look at all he's done. He's battled forth. He's won. And so, God said, because of all you've achieved, because of where where your heart is with me. God says, you can ask me anything you want, and it will be granted. And I thought this, how cool. God's telling me this. And I knew it was God. It's just so amazing that I'm like, okay. And this is where I started thinking back to childhood, because I'm like, all right, my boxing skills, they are lacking, you know? So I'm like, to be able to knock people out, you know, anyone that gets in my way, I'd like to have my boxing skills rival or be that of literally like Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson. His skills, you know. He goes, I would like this power is what I said, you know. And he goes, you already have this power. And I'm like, what the? Wait a minute. And because I had forgot over the years, these last 40, 35, 40 years, whatever, I had experiences where I've knocked a couple guys out. I've broken jaws and bones and things like this. And I'm not bragging. These are things I forgot in my fights, you know, these my trials and things, tests, as I call them now. I forgot about a lot of these. And granted, some of these were, you know, it's just the unexpected stuff that pops up and you end up having to fight. This was my case anyway. And it's not to brag at all. In fact, I'm not, I've actually taken a lot of damage. I've lost fights too, guys. I'm not perfect at all. But the thing that God said to me, he goes, you already have this power. I'm like, wow. And now, and after martial arts training, I think of Chi, where the ability to focus, and I because I forgot about all this stuff. It's like, oh, wow, God, you're right. I forgot. You know, I have knocked people out, men, not guys that needed it. I thought, you know, the bullies and stuff like that. These kind of people, the vile, evil ones that just think they're gonna force their way on you, kick your ass, kind of stuff. No. And so I've used my fists a lot. And so it was warming that God said, well, you already have this power. You know, and now granted, I don't look as built as the athletic Mike Tyson, who's a professional boxer. And that's the beauty of martial arts and boxing and stuff. You don't need to be that super powerful, manly image that you get out of Hollywood, you know, where you got to be the super bodybuilder in order to be of some use and be able to fight back. No, that's the beauty of boxing and martial arts and stuff like that. It levels the playing field. It'll take a small, skinny person and give them the same power to stand up against a bully, a big guy, right? And his friends too. It's beautiful. And so I'm like, oh, that's right. Wow. Once God told me this, and I thought about these things, I remembered these things because I've had a lot of trauma and drama and PTSD and all that stuff, right? And so I forgot a lot of this stuff. And it came back to me then when God said that. You already have this power. And so, and I'm like, okay, well, that was my boxing. Yes, I do have. Okay, I'm like, wow. Now, I focused on my Tang Soo Do that I'd partially learned, and I didn't learn everything in the martial arts. I'd only learned some deviant, brutal, vicious, wicked stuff from the ex-Marine. As in, a lot of the katas, he said that a lot of that's like repetition and stuff. He showed me the actual, the dark side of Tang Soo Do. As in close-in quarters combat, destroy your enemy. Up close and personal, get in there and put them down. Break bones, nerves, shatter nerves, whatever. You know, the nerve clusters, all this stuff. I'm like, wow. So I realized, I'm thinking, well, but I'd like to get my full Tang Soo Do up to par, is what I said. You know, I was just talking out loud, reasoning. And then it occurred to me, I'm like, well, who do I know who knows Tang Soo Do? Now, the public figure, very popular martial arts champion, a true champion, that is Chuck Norris. And I thought, wow. I said, God, I'd like the powers of Chuck Norris. And I was kind of, just like I'm talking to you right now, I'm like just kind of halfway laughing and joking. I thought this was kind of cool and fun. And whoa, and God got pissed. He said, "No, never ask again." And he shot off the. I saw a silhouette of God leap off the couch. I didn't know he's sitting right next to me. Whew. And I'm like, I could not believe it. I'm like, wow. And I thought about this. I'm like, whoa. Because Chuck Norris did this in his lifetime so far, and he's still with us, thank God. The amazing thing about Chuck Norris, and I had no clue of God's view of Chuck Norris. God loves Chuck Norris, guys. He loves Chuck Norris. And the thing about this, me asking for the powers of Chuck Norris, I'm like, because I didn't get to do all this stuff in my life. I had other things. I had my own path that God laid out for me. And therefore, I felt like I'd missed out. And I wanted, like with the... I wanted to catch up just instantly, right? And so when I asked for Chuck Norris, ooh, that hit a nerve with God. God loves Chuck Norris. And I'm just amazed. It's beautiful to me because now he got me thinking about these. He's like, I mean, the thoughts were now is like, each one of us, with the stuff we've learned in this life, if we're meant to win, we have to do it ourselves. And I actually felt guilty later on, and I apologized. I prayed to God and asked for forgiveness for this, for my greed in wanting the powers of Chuck Norris when I haven't earned them. I have not got up and done these things myself. Granted, I haven't had the opportunities and whatever, but still, I felt guilty for wanting something that I had not earned. Chuck Norris has earned his place in life. He's done it through victory, his own righteous beliefs and fighting power. It's just beautiful. And I realized it is wrong to want these kind of powers if I haven't earned them. It didn't feel right, and I'm glad God yelled at me like that. It's very humbling as well. And so, but that's I just thought that was cool. I wanted to share that because it's amazing to me the things I'm learning in this life, where God's views on various individuals. God loves us all, guys. The champions that we see and those that I look up to are the real ones in this life, because they've actually been there, done that, in spite of their difficulties and everything else. That's what makes them a champion. They still get up and do it, in spite of the fear. And that's what I saw in Iron Mike Tyson. And then there's Chuck Norris. The living legend that is Chuck Norris. Beautiful. But I wanted to share that. It was amazing because, and I look at all that Chuck Norris stands for. He is righteous in his ways. He stands for the good. The way a man should stand up for what's right in this life. He's a beautiful example of the things that we as men should do, and women. Be righteous and do the right things in the eyes of God. This is what Chuck Norris does. He preaches this in his every act, everything he does. Acts of kindness, acts of standing up for those who cannot defend themselves. After all, he is Walker, Texas Ranger. A man of the law. There it is. But he's also, wow. But he's real. I admire Chuck Norris. I look up to him as one of my mentors. I've learned volumes from him in my own learnings, throughout life. Him and many others. But anyway, that's true story with no, never ask again. As God flew off my couch, boy, I'd hit a nerve. Chuck Norris, he loves Chuck Norris, guys. I just thought that was a cool thing. I wanted to share that because I was amazed at that I'd hit a nerve with God. Oh, I have never asked him again, ever. And I'm not going to. When God tells me something like that, that's like, I take that as a command. And that's it. God has spoken, and I'm not going to dare go against God again. I mean, if he's told me something like that at that level, that sharp the anger, furious. I don't dare want God upset with me again, I want to keep him happy, so. But anyway, I've learned volumes from that too. I mean, you got to earn stuff in this life. It's not about having things given to you. It's about doing it yourself. The fun of actually accomplishing the ride, There's goals, yeah, but to get there is the fun part. Anyway, hope this makes sense. That's my story of how God, what he's told me at Chuck Norris, as well as Mike Tyson. I've already got his power. I can knock people out, but it's the Chuck Norris. Oh, that hit a nerve with God. Anyway, I just wanted to share. I just found this amazing. The life I'm leading now has been it's becoming very beautiful as the days go by now because I'm with God. God loves you, and I love you too. Thanks for watching. Till the next one.